In today's Gospel, we hear about Saint Joseph, and I really love this passage because to me, it speaks about a man who is a model of humility and obedience that we should all be imitating in our lives. You see, Joseph finds out that Mary is pregnant, and the first thing that he does is sets his mind to this firm course of action. He's going to quietly divorce her. But then God appears to Joseph and says, no, you are not to do that. Instead, you are to do the exact opposite. And then with total humility, Joseph says yes to following the will of God. In doing this, he is now like Mary, who has previously said yes to following the will of God when the angel appears to her and tells her that she has been called to give birth to the new Messiah. This is really quite a profound moment, especially when you consider the fact that Joseph would have known what he was saying yes to. He was choosing to embrace this path of controversy and scandal and difficulty that probably would have followed him for most of the rest of his days. And yet he still said yes to the will of God. This is a profound example for all of us. It's what the ultimate in Christian humility and obedience is really supposed to look like. So perhaps today we should be asking for the grace. No matter how many times we fail and fall at doing this, we should be asking for a renewed grace to strive to live out that same humility and obedience to the will of God in our lives. Today's saint quote of the day comes from Saint Teresa of Avila, and she said this: "We always find that those who walked closest to Christ were the ones who had to bear the greatest trials." Were there really two people who walked closer to Christ than Mary and Joseph? Probably not. And today's gospel reminds us about the fact that they had to embrace trials and suffering as part of that walk. And that way, they are the first models, if you like, in the gospel of Christian discipleship. They say yes to God. They are willing, no matter what the cost, to pick up that cross and to follow behind him. And in that way, they are the very models that we should be seeking to imitate in our discipleship and in our walk with Christ. Sometimes Christ will call us to places that we really do not want to go. Sometimes Christ will ask things of us that really are quite difficult. Sometimes Christ will ask of us total abandonment of self and our desires and the things that we want in this life. But it's only in doing that we find ourselves living out the authentic fullness of Christian discipleship.